So picture this. One legend just walks away. No big fanfare. At the same time, another is playing like he's found the fountain of youth. We're talking about Chris Paul and LeBron James, of course. And their stories, man, they tell us so much about what it even means to have a legacy in today's NBA.
And just like that, it was over. This chapter is done. Wow. Just like that, it was over. This chapter is done. Wow. That's Chris Paul, the point god himself, closing the book on one of the greatest careers we've ever seen. And, it makes you stop and think, right? Not just about him, but for all of us who got to watch him play for, 20 years? All right, so let's start with CP3. Let's really get into his career and what this retirement means for his legacy. I mean, just think about the numbers for a second. 21 seasons. That is over 2 decades of playing at the absolute highest level. He's walking away number 2 all-time in assists and steals. That's not just getting your name in the record books. That's literally defining what it means to be a point guard in this era. And this right here, this is the core of who Chris Paul was as a player. He was never the tallest guy on the court. You'd always hear people say he was really 5'10", not 6 foot, but it didn't matter. His superpower was his brain, this insane toughness, and just this crazy, almost maniacal desire to win at all costs. But the way it ended, it just felt off. It was so abrupt, no farewell tour, no big send-off, and you hear guys like Danny Green say it, and it hits you. It just doesn't seem right. And that really shows you the kind of respect he had from the guys he battled against night in and night out. So this gets us to the big question about his whole career, doesn't it? The ring. He never got one. And in a league that is absolutely obsessed with championships, how do you even begin to measure the legacy of a guy who made every single team better but never got to the very top of the mountain? Okay, let's just look at the evidence. The CP3 effect, as we're calling it. Forget the championship for a minute. He goes to the Pelicans, boom, playoff team. He goes to the Clippers, he literally creates the Lob City era and makes them contenders. He goes to a young, rebuilding OKC team, everyone writes them off, and he takes them to the playoffs. And then with Phoenix, he leads them to the NBA Finals every single time. The guy was a winner, period. You know who summed it up perfectly? Kendrick Perkins, a guy he used to go at it with. The word he used was culture. And that's exactly it. Chris Paul didn't just put on a new jersey. He would walk into a building and completely change its DNA. He brought a level of professionalism, a standard of excellence, that just changed everything and everyone around him. I mean, just look at this resume. 12-time All-Star, 2nd all-time in assists, 2nd all-time in steals. And get this, in his 20th season, the man played all 82 games. That's just incredible. And then you see that last line, the one thing that's not there, the one thing that makes his whole story so fascinating, so complicated, and why we'll be debating it forever. Okay, so while one of the all-time greats from that draft class is calling it a career, the other guy, well, he's basically decided that the rules of time and aging just don't apply to him. Seriously, think about it. At 41 years old, an age where most guys are long retired, maybe doing commentary, LeBron isn't just playing, he's dominating. He's completely changing our idea of what's possible for an athlete. Okay, let's just run through some of these records because it's nuts. He's the oldest player ever to drop a 40-point game. He's the oldest player in history to have a 30-point, 10-assist game. And yup, you guessed it, he's also the oldest player to ever record a triple-double. It's a constant attack on the history books. We're watching something that's not supposed to be happening. And this quote from him says it all, right? He knows his game is still sharp, the basketball mind is as good as it's ever been, it's all about the body, and can it keep going? Well, right now, the answer is a resounding yes, in a way we've just never, ever seen before. So what's the formula? How is he doing this? Well, first, his skills are always evolving. He went and added a killer three-point shot to his game. Second, it's his mental state. Everyone will tell you that a happy LeBron is a dominant LeBron. And then there's this, which is just wild. He still leads the whole league in fast break points. At 41, he is still the scariest guy in the open court. Unbelievable. So here we are. We've got these two incredible parallel stories, two of the best to ever do it, coming from the same draft class, one legacy finished, the other still being written in real time. So how do you even begin to stack them up against each other? And look, this isn't about saying one is better than the other. It's about recognizing there are different ways to be great. You've got Chris Paul, the ultimate culture guy, the general who made every franchise better and changed what it means to be a point guard. And then you've got LeBron, the superstar of superstars, the all-time scoring king, with all the championships, who didn't just redefine a position, he redefined an entire era.
And the way CP3's career ended really tells you something about today's NBA. Kendrick Perkins made a great point. 10, 15 years ago, there is no way the league just lets a legend of that stature go out so quietly. But now, it's all about youth, it's about draft picks, and it meant a guy like Chris Paul didn't get that final send-off he absolutely earned. And then on the flip side, you hear the chatter around LeBron. People like Tim McMahon are talking about this potential storybook ending, a reunion in Cleveland for one last ride, a retirement tour for the ages. Can you imagine? It would be the complete opposite of how Chris Paul's career just ended.
So it leaves us with this big question, right? In this era where players are always on the move, what happens to the farewell tour? Is that whole tradition, that final lap for the legends, is it a thing of the past? Or is it just something that doesn't fit in the business of the modern NBA? The way these two careers end might just be our answer.